Hello everybody, this is Gigi from Gigi Movement coming at you with a new yoga flow, a nice gentle stretch in the beautiful port of Montego Bay, Jamaica. So all you need is yourself and your mat. This is an all levels flow, so just come as you are, and you're going to sit nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head in a comfortable seated position, and just start to settle in here. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth, getting settled, leaving the day behind no matter what's happened and what is yet to happen. Nice, slow, smooth, deep breaths, relaxing the jaw, the skin around the eyes, the forehead, grounded through your seat, but tall through the top of your head. Beautiful. From here, you're going to take your right fingertips to the ground and take your left arm up and overhead into a side body stretch, opening through the left rib cage and maybe taking your gaze to the sky. And then rounding through the spine, you're going to semicircle forward and side stretch to the other side with the right arm overhead. Now keep this movement going, so you're circling one way into your side reach, and then the other way, rounding through the spine each time so you feel a beautiful stretch through your back muscles. Finding length in your side body stretch. And release in the circular motion as you go around, folding over your legs. Beautiful job, everybody. From here, you're going to stir the pot. So I want you to take your rib cage to the left, then take the chest forward, rib cage to the right, and then round the back. So flexion and extension through the spine, arching the spine as you come forward, and then rounding the spine as you come back. You can anchor yourself with your hands on your knees and reverse your circle. You can take the neck into the equation, you can close the eyes, whatever feels good to you. From here, you're going to reach the arms up, cactus the arms, open the chest, and then round through the spine as the hands and elbows come towards each other. Cactus, inhale, round the spine, exhale. Cactus the arms, inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, you round the back. One more, just like this. And come up to a nice tall seat. From here, take the hands behind you and start to lift the hips up to the sky. Getting a nice hip flexor stretch here just for a couple of breaths. And then lower the hips down, and you're going to walk the hands forward, coming into a forward fold over your crossed legs. Just taking a gentle stretch for your glutes, externally rotating the hips, and just let your head hang heavy here. Start to lift the body up, swap the cross of your legs. We're going to go into that hip flexor extension again, so take the hands behind you and lift the hips up to the sky, stretching through those hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips leading into your quads. With control, lower down the hips and find your forward fold again on this side, just for a couple of breaths. Beautiful job, everybody. Come back up, and we're going to transition to hands and knees, tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulder points, knees underneath the hip points, and find a cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the chest. Exhale, round through the spine, navel to spine. And a couple more times, just like that, in the traditional mode. And then you can take it off the railroad tracks, creating a circular motion, maybe moving forward and back, maybe side to side, a little barrel roll with the chest, whatever feels good to you. You can bring the neck into the equation. And then if you've gone one way, go the other way now, just making sure that you work through all of those beautiful back muscles. Good job. From here, reach your right arm all the way up to the sky, and exhale, thread the needle, taking right arm underneath the left arm, and then reaching your left arm forward to the top edge of the mat. Getting a beautiful stretch through the right shoulder. Gentle opening of the chest and rotation of the spine, with the sit bones nice and high. Beautiful. And same thing on the other side, reach the left arm all the way up to the sky, and exhale, thread the needle underneath the right arm this time, stretching your right arm forward. Relax the skin of the face, relaxing the side of the face into the mat. Nice, everyone press yourself back up to your tabletop position. And then reaching that right arm all the way up to the sky again, inhale. And as you exhale, sink the hips back towards the heels and circle the arm backwards at the same time. We're going to do 3 each way. And now reverse your circle so the arm goes forward. Every time the arm goes forward, the hips sink back towards the heels. 1 more. Beautiful. Reset. You're going to take that to the other side, reaching the left arm up. Exhale, sink the hips back and take the arm back at the same time. So we're just mobilizing through the shoulder joint. And now taking it forward. Good job, everybody. From here, gently walk the hands forward, tuck the toes under. It's your first downward facing dog of the session, so get comfortable here. You can bend one knee and then the other, stretching into those calf and hamstring muscles, and push the ground away. Find space between the shoulders and the ears. Nice job. Taking a couple of breaths, pushing the heels down to the mat. You can nod the head yes and no to release the neck muscles. And then from here, you're going to pick up your right foot and you're going to place it behind the left shin and then push back into that left heel, finding a beautiful calf stretch here. And then just simply do that on the other side. Again, pushing back into the heel to get a beautiful stretch. This is a really nice one for those of you who like to run or do a lot of cardio. Good. And from here, you're going to take your right leg high up into the sky, 3-legged dog, bend the knee, stack the hips, and start to take circles outwards with that knee. 1, 2, and 3, just mobilizing through the hip joint. Bring that right knee to your nose and then take the right foot through between your hands. We're coming into a nice low lunge here. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, nice and tall. Squeeze the inner thighs towards the midline. And exhale, bring the fingertips to the ground or to 2 blocks and come into half splits, flexing the right toes towards the face, stretching through the hamstring. Rolling forward into your lunge again, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, finding a stretch in your left hip flexor, and bring the hands to the inside of that right foot, heel toe the right foot out towards the right. And again here, either with knee off the ground or staying on the ground, just mobilizing through that right hip, so taking some circles one way and then the other, maybe seesawing back and forth, whatever feels good to you. And then you're going to rotate your body to the left side of your mat, coming into Skandasana side lunge. You can either keep the hands on the ground or you can do what I'm doing, pushing the right knee out with the right arm and then reaching the left arm up to the sky. Deep breath in. And exhale, unravel, turn yourself back to the front of the mat. Left hand plants into the ground and reach the right arm up to the sky. Nice, gentle, easy twist. Good job. Step it back to plank pose. Come forward, find a vinyasa. You can either have knees up or knees down, cobra or upward facing dog, pushing back to your downward facing dog. Whatever version of the vinyasa feels good for you. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So left leg goes into three-legged dog, stack the hip and find those knee circles, taking the knee outwards and back into the midline. Good job. Roll it forward through that tiger curl and then place that left foot through between the hands. Inhale, lift the arms to the sky, make sure there's still engagement in your core. And exhale, hinge it back to your half splits position, flexing the toe towards the face, squeezing in the thighs towards each other. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, open the chest if you want, and bringing the hands to the inside of that left foot, heel toe the left foot out to the left, and again, finding some rolling, releasing movement. On this side, again, maybe seesawing back and forth, side to side, or circular like I'm doing. Then turn your body to the right long side of your mat. Coming into Skandasana on this side, it would be your left arm that's pushing the left knee away and then reaching the right arm up to the sky. Rotate back to the front of the mat, plant the right hand and reach the left arm all the way up, finding space. And step it back to your plank pose. Again, finding a vinyasa works for you. Maybe bringing the knees down like I'm doing here. Coming into a cobra and then pushing back to downward facing dog. Hips nice and high. Take a second here to breathe in. And out. Beautiful. Coming back to plank and then just simply coming down to your belly. We're going to come into nice gentle passive hip stretch here. So stack the hands one on top of the other. Rest the forehead down and then bring the knee up in line with the hip into a little half froggy position, and then letting the hips just sink down to the mat. Beautifully passive. You can even rock and roll the forehead across the hands if you want to massage your forehead, the third eye. Letting that right hip open gently. Release any temptation to grip into the feet, the hands, the glutes, the low back. And just breathing. From here, we're going to do a neat little transition. You're going to take your left arm underneath your body and then roll onto your back. Leave that knee where it is, coming into a supine twist. So you're going to be looking at your right arm, and your right leg is crossed over your left one. Breathing deeply into the belly now, creating space and oxygen in that rib cage, even as you're twisting. Good job. Now roll back exactly the way that you came so that your right knee is back into that half froggy. And we're gonna just reset the body in a Sphinx pose. So take that right leg back. You're on your elbows, 2 train tracks, lifting the chest, gentle compression into the lower back. Beautiful job. Now taking your left knee in line with the left hip. Relax your head back down onto your stacked hands. We're into your half froggy on the other side. And notice here the difference between the two sides. You might have one side that feels tighter or looser than the other. And just observe this without judgment. It can feel really nice to focus on the belly filling with air and emptying as it presses into your mat beneath you. And we're going to find that transition again. So you're going to take your right arm under your left one, keeping the knee where it is, then open out the left arm, and the other hand is going to hold onto your left knee as you come into a supine twist. If this gets a little confusing and you get lost, that's okay. Just check out the screen, see what position I'm in, and find yourself into that supine twist. If you find that your shoulders are struggling to reach the ground, maybe bend both knees for a slightly milder version of this pose. I would rather both shoulders be connected to the ground. Good, then roll back the way that you came in, reversing. And then take that leg back behind you. You can either do Sphinx again, or you can push into the hands, taking the elbows off the ground, coming into Seal, which is a little bit more of an intense compression into the lower spine. So it may not work for everybody. Whichever version you're doing, your shoulders are away from your ears, the chest is open, and we're breathing. Lower the forehead back down to the mat. You're going to take your arms alongside you with the palms facing up. Inhale. Start to lift the legs off the ground, and exhale, lift your upper body off the ground, and then your hands coming into Shalabhasana, locust pose, strengthening through the back muscles. Really lengthen through the toes and start to lower down. You can bring your forehead back down to your stacked hands and just gently wiggle out the hips to release any tension in the low back. Coming back to an extended child's pose, take your hips towards your heels and widen out your knees. Let your chest fall between the knees, completely surrendering. And then lift the body up. You're going to swing those legs around until you're on your bum. And we're going to go into quite an intense hip opener here. So 2 options. We're doing cow facing legs. You can either have one leg straight and the other on top. You want the knees to stack each other like so. Or you can do the double stack. It can feel easier to roll forward, stack those knees, and then sit back again. Either way, we're in our cow facing legs position. You can either sit upright or do a gentle bow forward as I am. This position can feel quite intense, so please take your time. We're going to be here for a good couple of breaths. And as much as possible, try to soften through the fingers, through the toes, and breathe oxygen into any resistance that you feel in the hips. And for most people, there will be a little bit of resistance. Start to lift the body. And whatever you did on one side, try to repeat on the other side. So if you did the one-sided cow-facing legs, do that on the other side. And then if you did the double crisscross like I'm doing, lean forward, stack your knees, and then sit back onto your seat. Again, as usual, one side might feel a little different to the other, and that is more than okay. Observe it, don't judge it, just take note. Softening through the skin of the face and breathing deeply here. Start to lift the body, unravel the legs, lean back into your hands and gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. The feet are nice and wide to allow space. And this is just going to ease off any tension that might have built up in those intense hip poses. Rolling down gently onto your back. We have one final pose before Shavasana, and it's Happy Baby. So I'm going to give you two versions of this. You can either hold onto the knees and just open up through the knees, or you can lift the soles of the feet up to the sky, bend the knees in towards your armpits, and grab the insides or the outsides of the feet, coming into a full Happy Baby. You can find some movement, or if you're more feeling stillness, you can stay completely still here. Whatever your vibe is today, go with that. And start to lower the feet down to the mat. We're headed into Shavasana, our final resting pose. So find a Shavasana that works for you, either with legs extended and palms facing up. Maybe you want to do a supine butterfly. Maybe you just want to put the soles of the feet onto the ground with the knees facing up. Somewhere where you can just fully surrender and find a moment of stillness. Breathing deeply into the belly. Relaxing every single part of the body. And you can stay here for as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.